Imagine a man locked in a room. Difficult, I know, but see if your imagination can carry you there. A man is locked in a room, the doors are shut tight, and he does not know when he'll be out. To begin with, the man makes do. After all, he'd always intended to learn the guitar, to paint the hallway, to start a podcast, to fix his daughter's bike, to read Moby Dick, to bake banana bread, to design an app, to tie his own fishing lures, and to retile the bathroom, something he'd promised to do in 1997. These are the opportunities that present themselves in the early days, and even though the door has just shut on him, the man feels almost hopeful about it all. But of course, the man does none of these things that he'd planned. Instead, he subscribes to his 4th video streaming service and becomes part man, part sofa, gorging himself on 8 kinds of cheese-based snacks. However, if the door is not opened, and if he bangs on it repeatedly, raising his voice, and still he is trapped, well then, he'll become angry. Anger is about blocked goals. You want something, but someone is standing in the way. How dare they? You get angry. Maybe you bang on the door, you raise your voice, you demand your rights, you feel the injustice of it all. But if the door still does not open, if your cries continue to fall on deaf ears, then eventually your anger will turn to apathy. You'll slump on the floor in hopelessness. You're committed to your goal, you want your freedom, but now you're convinced that the one thing you're desperate for will never happen. This is despair, and it's a hell of a place to be. Look back over the last 12 months and you'll see these 3 phases. There was activity, wasn't there? We baked our sourdough bread, we exercised with Joe Wicks, we clapped for the carers. But then there was anger, a lot of anger in 2020. Domestic and child abuse soared. And all of us in 2020 became about 6,000% more tetchy. Did you feel it? There's a sense in which lockdown is a burden inflicted on me. There's also a sense in which I am a burden inflicted on my household. But beyond the anger, there is apathy. Hot tempers eventually cool into frozen rage. If you bang on a locked door and if it never opens, you'll eventually fall in despair. Did you know that last year 1/4 of teens self-harmed and 1 in 15 attempted suicide? There is a desperate lack of hope in our world right now. And all the while, I've been speaking of lockdown. What about the pandemic that has provoked it? In 2020, we lost almost 100,000 to COVID. We lost 600,000 to all causes. And on a near daily basis, we've been reminded of our fragility, our mortality. Because this world is a locked room, and no one gets out alive. So what is our hope? In the TV show The West Wing, the character Josh is in a dark place. His friend Leo tells him this story.
This guy's walking down the street when he falls in the hole. The walls are so steep he can't get out. A doctor passes by and the guy shouts up, "Hey, you, can you help me out?" The doctor writes a prescription, throws it down in the hole, and moves on. Then a priest comes along and the guy shouts up, "Father, I'm down in this hole, can you help me out?" The priest writes out a prayer, throws it down in the hole, and moves on. Then a friend walks by. "Hey, Joe, it's me, can you help me out?" And the friend jumps in the hole. Our guy says, "Are you stupid? Now we're both down here." The friend says, "Yeah, but I've been down here before and I know the way out."
Is there hope? Yes, because there is a friend who joins us in the darkness and who knows the way out. The prophet Isaiah told the world what would happen when the Messiah, the Son of God, came. He would befriend us. He would join us. He would jump into the mess to bring us out. Isaiah wrote, "Surely he took up our pain and bore our suffering." This is incredible friendship. It's the friendship that says, your darkness will be my darkness and your pain will be my pain. I don't know what you make of Easter, but Easter is the time when the Lord who made us and who loves us jumped in the hole. And as he did that, he didn't just feel our darkness, he took responsibility for it. On the cross, he carried the weight of our spiritual and moral darkness, our sin. Isaiah wrote, "He was pierced for our transgressions, he was crushed for our sins. The punishment that brought us peace was upon him, and by his wounds we are healed." We all like sheep have gone astray. Each of us have turned to our own way, and the Lord has laid on him the sins of us all. In our dark pit, with the doors locked and no hope for escape, incredibly we look to the cross, and there we see that our Maker has joined us to love us, to take responsibility for us, to befriend us, to save us. No wonder Christians sing of the wondrous cross.